I have some real Ghostbusters artifacts with me that might be of interest, perhaps. The first one, this is ludicrous, but my mother, a few years ago, she produced this. She had bought it for me probably in like 1988 as like a birthday present to have in the chamber, put it on a shelf in her cupboard in her closet, and then just forgot about it. And it's a Ghostbusters board game.
Oh, nice.
Um, so a couple of things about this. Firstly, the artwork is really splendid. It's
Yeah,
basically drawn in felt tip.
that's
Don't
amazing.
know if you can see that well
Yeah,
enough, but
yeah.
very, very shonky. Like they didn't go to like an archive of production art. They just did their and I don't know if you can tell it's sealed. We haven't cracked it open yet for a games night. I don't think it's got any value sealed, personally. But I'm going to read you the rules of this game because this is insanity. Um, Real Ghostbusters, playing the game. Old Zool's been putting some moves on the city of New York again. There's ghost schools and slimes all over town. Now, first of all, my first note on this. In the movie, Zool isn't the big bad.
That's right. That's right.
Zool's just one of the dogs that takes over
Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver and makes her all horny. So they got that wrong, I think, in my opinion. The object of the game is to be the best Ghostbuster in the city. To do this, you must compete with your fellow Ghostbusters to trap the meanest and slimiest ghosts in town, and finally race to trap Mr. Stay Puft himself. At the beginning of the... Okay, strap in. At the beginning of the game, each player is dealt a trap card, a proton gun card, and a proton pack card. This is a player's ghost-busting kit, which he must have to be able to bust a ghost. If less than 4 people play, then the remaining kit cards are discarded. Place the remaining action cards on the space provided and position each ghost in the correct building with Mr. Stay Puft in the middle of the board. Each player chooses a Ghostbuster character to play and places them on the Ghostbuster Central Square. Next, decide who's to go first. The player spins the Bustometer and reads from the inner circle to determine the number of squares to move and acts on any instructions. Play moves in the clockwise direction. Um, Spinning the Bustometer may also let you move a ghost. Moving ghosts in this way is optional. You can move any ghost you like except Mr. Staybuff. Ghost can also use subways. Spooking gives you the chance to frighten an opponent into... This goes on forever. There's so many rules. It's like number wang. Like, so yeah, the idea of actually cracking this open and trying
No,
to play it sounds like a
I'm
miserable
teasing.
experience. Which means I've been able to migrate all of the tat that was in my mother's house uh, when she finally sold her house. So it's now tat in our loft, which is great. But I went up and brought down some tat. A lot of it is Ghostbusters-y. Um, Not a lot of it I remember. I'm going to go through sort of memory lane a bit. I'm not even sure what this bit is. Hang on. This fell out. This is just some kind of indeterminate bat thing. And I think this had some, I think maybe you put this in the car and it like trailed behind. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Um, I have, the classic items like the Ecto 1 and the firehouse and things like that. Um, and we brought them over because initially, this is a couple of years ago, but initially it was like, well, maybe we could sell these because the firehouses go for a couple of hundies on eBay sometimes if they're in good nick. But it was actually Laura, believe it or not, who persuaded me not to just yet, just in case we maybe have kids at some point that decide they like Ghostbusters. So in the loft it stays. This really have much of a memory of. It's some kind of vehicle. I don't really remember it being in the show or what its function is. I'm assuming these things suck up ghosts.
Right.
But you can only really tell it has anything to do with Ghostbusters because there's a tiny little sticker on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I have a suspicion that at a certain point in the merchandising of the show, which, by the way, that book I mentioned, this new hardback book that came out, it goes into detail of that so meticulously. Like they've gone through like so many, I guess, collections and found like wave after wave of action figure and stuff. So it's quite fun as far as like, oh yeah, I remember that, or oh, I wish I had that when I was a kid. Because I was generally pretty covetous. I brought this one down because this to me was a technical marvel at the time. It was a ghost trap, right?
Ah, cool.
No batteries, no anything, but you press the thing and it
Wow.
opens just with air,
Nice.
analog. See, ingenuity. That shit blew my mind as a kid. And this is also glow in the dark stripes. And I remember what you would do is you'd like throw a ghost at it and try and like catch it in
Yeah,
the trap.
amazing.
Hours of fun.
Yeah.
TikTok, schmick schmuck. This one legitimately is a bit horrifying to a police traffic officer, and then
Nice.
that's something that would live in your nightmares certainly. I'm surprised actually that I was okay with that because I was such a wuss as a kid. Um, so yeah, various kind of like here's another one. I'm not sure. I can't find a button for her, but I think her mouth opened in a weird way, or oh yeah, you pull the mouth down like that.
Classic. Look at that.
Good stuff. I'm sure they do toys like this now.
Yeah.
Like the 80s was a wonderland of toy production. But the weird thing when it comes to like my action figure collecting, I don't know why this is, but I only ever got like one version of each of the Ghostbusters. And they would reissue like new wave versions where they would be wearing a different outfit, or they'd be doing, I don't know, something wacky. They would have like a special helmet or whatever. And I always thought that was redundant. Except for some reason, I had not one, but 3 Janines. What? And they all kind of look like sex dolls.
Yeah.
Like sort of miniaturized. Like this one in particular, I mean, that's a treasure.
Yeah.
Um, remember that classic episode where Janine was underwater? Uh, and this one is missing an arm, but I do have the arm. I'm not sure if I jab it in hard enough, it will probably go back in. But I think the idea was the arm, you moved it, and it made her glasses kind of lift off her face. But I'm not going to play with fire. This I'd completely forgotten about. At one point in the show, the Rick Moranis character shows up.
Right.
And I have no memory of this, but I did have a little toy of him. And I had thought they'd just made a toy for like fans of the movie, but apparently he does show up in the show. So.
Yeah, I did read I think it was like in later, right towards the end, I think.
Long after I would have
Yeah.
been sort of tuning in. A little Slimer, of course.
Oh, classic.
This, I don't know why I even brought this down. So this is like a disc with little images of ghosts on it.
Okay.
And it came with a gun that like a torch gun, and you would shine it at the wall, and it would play horrible noises. Nice. I think I have the gun somewhere, but for some reason the disc was on its own. This one. So I think the idea with this one is that you rolled it on the ground and it like sparks came out of its mouth.
A friction car.
Oh no, you put a thing in its back. In fact, that might be what this is. Hang on, let me see if... will this go in here?
Yeah. And then you pull in.
Okay. Oh, it goes through. I mean, I very much doubt it will actually produce sparks 30 years later, but let's give it a go. Oh!
Yeah.
I did not think that would work. I feel like that's got to be a health and safety thing that wouldn't like be released on the market now. I'm going to put that away before I set the house on fire. I think that's all of the toy bits. I'm not sure if any of those are worth keeping in, but just to sort of show what a hoarder I am. But this is more of a kind of one I actually hold sort of quite firmly to my bosom as part of like, it's something I quite like to collect now as an adult. But this is an actual production cell of a Winston. I mean, maybe people who are more aficionados of the show than us might actually be able to say what episode this is from. Remember that classic episode where Winston bent over a bit?
Yeah.
So, internet, do your thing.
I I love that.
I remember I got this off some like cell production
Mm.
house store, eBay maybe, um, and being really happy when it came in the post and showing it to my girlfriend at the time, and she responded with a very very thin-lipped smile, and yep, I was dumped 48 hours later, but still
The
happy with it as
curse
a
of being an
purchase.
animation aficionado, Ben.